So yeah, your album's doing good, and you're doing interviews continuously still. How's that going with the promotions?
Really good. Getting some some real nice coverage. And definitely the name is getting out there, and I'm being played on a pretty good little selection of radio stations. A number of internet radio stations and some over the air stuff too. I'm real pleased with the response. But it's definitely better than I would have hoped for. I mean, I don't know exactly what I hoped for. Not that I didn't think it was good, but yeah, it's been great.
It's like that on this album. You're like doing "Into the Arena," an excellent cover song. What's the audience that's listening to this think of this song? Compared to Michael Schenker stuff. Is you doing it?
Yeah, I've got pretty good response on that. A number of people have commented specifically that they really like my version of it, and I thought it came out pretty good. I worked pretty hard on that one to keep it faithful, if not necessarily note for note all the way through. I didn't try to do a heavier guitar tone or anything like that. So yeah, I thought that one came out all right. I like that.
How's the weather outside? It looks quite windy in back of you.
Oh, can you see? Yeah. Actually, it's pretty gusty out. I've got my little studio out here. It sits separately from the house, just a couple steps away. But it's a nice building. The house and the studio were built in 1895, and you can be out here in a 50-mile-an-hour wind and you don't notice it. So,
that's good.
Yeah, looks pretty bad out there, but I can't tell it here.
You can't tell. As long as your internet connection is still going, that's good.
Exactly.
So Lou, with the biography I read, of course, what impresses me is you played over 2,500 paid performances. That's incredible.
Yeah. I've been doing it a long time, and of course, certainly, overall, the majority of those are cover gigs. But yeah, I played a lot of jobs and a lot of different styles. At one point for about a year, I was the guitar player in a house band at like a Chicago style blues club. We backed up a lot, and it was real straight blues. So I've done that, and besides obviously like rock kind of cover gigs, I've more variety stuff, and yeah, so that's been real good. Between that and teaching guitar, that's the vast majority of my making my living most of my adult life. Teaching guitar, so pretty fortunate in that regard. Be nice to continue here the trajectory and you could get the original stuff, figuring a little bit more significantly back into what's going on. But of course, over the years, I've definitely done a fair performances as well. But yeah, out of that many jobs, there's a lot of cover gigs in there for sure.
Well, cover gigs is what keeps the musician going too, because you got to play the stuff that you like also.
Learning a lot of different songs and being able to play a lot of different songs well, I mean, that develops your own playing in a way that doesn't happen if you don't do that,
Right.
And it's all well and good to play or do your own thing, but if you really don't know a lot of the stuff that went into those popular songs and that style of writing and things like that, it's probably going to be hit or miss in your own results, and that's why I think especially with the stuff on Heatwave, I think it kind of connects, in part because I have such an understanding of such a wide variety of.
The Heatwave 2 is an interesting album in a sense. What I told you a little while ago, it has some essence of Dio mixed in with Yngwie Malmsteen. both
Yeah.
blending together.
Yeah. And especially Dio, I mean, the first Rainbow album with Man on the Silver Mountain and all that stuff, for me, those stuff, and of course the first Dio album, was such a classic sound. It finds, so much of like the hard rock vocal sound,
Yeah.
Especially that first Rainbow album, where kind of the Deep Purple sound, but it was kind of going a little bit more towards the, what became the more traditional heavy metal, popular hard rock, heavy metal sound, So yeah, I really like that Dio stuff, and that there's an element of that kind of figures into the way I might think about a vocal part for sure, and yeah, Yngwie's a player, and even more than Yngwie, like Uli Raw, in that Dio classical way that that I really listen to a lot, or listen to, in my formative years, especially. So yeah, that's great. That's good. That's good to hear that stuff. Cool.
Let's go. Unique compliments of all sorts, to make
right.
this whole.
Yeah, well, I could be in worse company.
Yeah, that's true. So featuring on this album, Manowar, Ross of Symphony X, if I can say it, and who's the rest of the musicians you're all playing with on this Heatwave album?
So yeah, Ross the Boss plays lead guitar on one song. He kind of has a little guest appearance there, some nice lead, dual lead work stuff, and then Mike Lepond from Symphony X, and Mike actually plays with Ross band now too. Tunes, and then the other tunes I played the bass guitar on as well. And then on vocals is Karsten Schultz from Germany, and he's done a lot of stuff in Europe with bands of his own, as well as a lot of session work, writing credits, and stuff like that. Really, really great singer. Collaborated on some of the lyrics with me, not all of them, but so that's kind of more of the guest artist or whatever, if you will, and then local friend of mine and good drummer, really solid, good rock drummer, Bobby Wiles, played drums, and then keyboard player Tim Rickstein, also a local guy, friend of mine, did the keyboards on the tunes that they're on keyboards on 3 or 4 tunes. Talking about Into the Arena, Tim did some real stuff, on the version of the Shanker tune. It's kind of cool having that legit, kind of synth sound in there. So that's all the personnel. It was mixed and mastered by Rolf Monks also in Germany at Empire Studios, and he's really got a lot of great experience and did a fantastic job with the final mix and master. So it came together real well.
Your artwork on the Heatwave, it's very interesting. Where did you find this artwork or decide on having it like that?
So a little bit of background on kind of the concept, at least for the cover. The Heatwave is my 4th solo CD, and the first 3 Pile Up, which is not available right now. Well, I'll probably re-release that. And then The Axeman Cometh, and then my collection of Christmas tunes for rock called Merry Triple Xmas. So those were all instrumental. And on The Axeman Cometh, that was a takeoff on the title of, I think it's originally a play, The Iceman Cometh. And that story was about people in a bar in the Depression era waiting for the Iceman to come, and that they could have cold drinks because the Iceman would bring a block of ice, and so there was a a picture that I saw for that one time, and it was like a dimly lit street, and it showed like a guy from the leg down, and it was Iceman, and he had a block of ice, and tongs, and it was kind of sweating, from the heat. So, anyways, on the Axeman cometh, my guitar is like made out of ice, and I'm kind of walking through like a fiery background. And on Heatwave, it's the reverse, where I'm in an icy area, and my guitar is red hot, so it kind of like flipped the cover from the Axeman cometh. And so the actual drawing for Heatwave was done by a local artist here, a guy that I know, Steve Cooley. And he does some really great work. And I had actually seen like a kind of a spooky, like a Krampus, Santa Claus kind of picture that he drew last year sometime. Maybe it was probably around Christmas or so. And the kind of the tone of it, I was like, oh man, I wonder if Steve might whip something up for me. So, anyways, the concept generally was mine, the icy, cityscape, and me with the red hot guitar. But the specifics, I mean, Steve just really did a great job with the street scene, the way it was, and with me there in the center with the back turn and all that. So yeah, so it came out pretty cool, and the whole packaging and so forth came together real well, and just like the musicians that I worked with and Rolf Engineering, I just was really fortunate to have a great team all the way around, including Steve that did the artwork, Scott Braun that did the all the graphic layout and everything. So yeah, it came together real nice.
Excellent stuff. And to really finish off here, the Christmas album. Every Christmas time, does this start going back into charts in a sense? Like on Spotify, and people start to listen to it.
I probably need to I've always had it on my LouDiBello.com page, but that's kind of been redone, and I don't have it up there now. I probably need to I guess I did have it on SoundCloud last year, but yeah, people really like that, and I probably don't have it on YouTube. Maybe I should put it on
YouTube. You should probably put it on.
I don't think I have my Christmas stuff on YouTube, but actually I'll do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, people seem to really like it. There's like a really cool version of Deck Halls, and a really cool version of Joy to the World, and a couple other ones that came out real nice. A lot of real thick layered guitars, It's not really like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. It's more like maybe, kind of sounds like maybe Brian May kind of harmony guitars, kind of real layered like that. Most of it. Pretty cool.
Excellent stuff. Well, Lou, man, thanks for the chat, and we're going to talk to you again in the future, and I'll let you know how this one goes for this interview.
Yeah, by all means. Thanks, Jason. Listen, good talking to you, and we'll keep in touch, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.